All right, goes. The train never stops. Yet another MMA superstar joining us here
Hmm.
on Junkie Radio, video style, quarantine style. We're stuck at home, Rocky, so we got to do it this way. But we're spreading our wings. We're expanding into the whole video world. Thank you for joining us here on a Thursday. How you doing, mate?
Good man. I am very good, brother. Thank you. How's quarantine?
Yeah, making do with it. Is that a Badr Hari tribute there? Is that what I read?
No, nah, it's better. It's like a clothing company that I'm teed up with. I'm working with them, so it's based in the UK. So it's a good little brand. It's good.
Oh, okay,
It's like
nice.
a UK brand. Yeah, it's nice.
So listen, we got some questions for you. Let's talk a little bit of fighting, but I want to start with non-fighting first. Uh, I
Yeah.
was really getting a kick out of your social media. Rocky and Rocco, man, I love your dog.
Right. I love Rocco, man. He's a he's a very hyperactive dog, and I like little dogs. I don't really like big dogs, and I got him like 2 years ago, and that one of my best friends now.
Yeah, I love that combo. I think dogs are, in a way, I mean, my dog is at least kind of helping me keep sane, during these tough times. But
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
really
for sure.
observing that. And of course, you're getting your workout in. But there was a particular post that also caught my eye. And it was you talking about the knife violence going on in Birmingham, your city. What does that stem from? Is that
Yeah.
because of what we're going through now, or is this something that's been going on for a while now?
Yeah, it's been going on for a very long time now. Youth violence in the UK and especially Birmingham and London. Knife crime has been massive, and to see that video the other day, and to I know someone that knows a person that got stabbed in broad daylight, and it was heartbreaking. And I mean, to actually see the video, because you hear about it all the time, and like on that same day that video that guy got stabbed, there was another three stabbings on that same day, and everyone maybe quarantining, you know what I mean? And there's three stabbings on that same day, and but it's a very bad thing, and I'm trying to bring awareness to it and trying to see what I could do to help basically, because I remember being in like environments like that growing up as a kid, you know what I mean, and with my friends, and so I'd love to try help and bring awareness to it.
So let me ask you a question. I've always followed English Premier League football. And because of that, over the past 20 years, I've seen hooliganism and read books or watched movies about it. And
Yeah,
but to me, it always looked down. It looked like it started off with like, "Hey, put them up, let's have a go, and then we'll watch the football game, win or lose or whatever." But I noticed it started
yeah,
escalating to box
yeah.
cutters and pipes and knives, and so is this kind of like, I guess, your guys' version, because you guys have the strict gun laws, of basically these knife attacks you're telling me about? Are they just like the equivalent of what we hear about here in the States with drive-bys, but these are just knifing incidents?
Yeah.
Or are these like kids that where it escalates and a knife gets pulled out, or is the knife coming out and the violence is just going down that raw?
I'll probably compare it to like the American like gun control that you got going on in America probably. As far as like, because like gun laws over here are very strict. You do get shootings, but it's not as much as stabbings. Stabbings is like it's like a day in day out thing. You know what I mean? For teenagers to get into groups, you see with gangs or like there's no more like put them up and let's fight. You know what I mean? It's either you see if you're gonna get stabbed if you're trying to fight, or you're gonna run. There's no literally. I don't think they have like street fights no more. It's either you're gonna get into an argument, get stabbed, or it's just a very bad time. And I really need to see what I can do to help. And because I had many mates that lost their life to violence like that. You know what I mean?
Man, that's so sad to hear. And I'll tell you something. Maybe I'm showing my age or something, but you can't go more than 5 minutes when you're just checking your social media, seeing what your family and friends are up to, and all of a sudden a YouTube or a Facebook or a tweet comes up, and there's a fight, and I see kids that are fighting, and you know what?
Yeah,
You know what comes to mind, Rocky, is I'm
yeah,
like I'm watching the other day. I was watching these two Hawaiian kids fighting, and kids were gathered around, and these kids had skills. These kids are watching our sport and other sports.
Yeah.
And they got their hands up, and a couple of them are throwing kicks. And I'm like, if we can only get them into the confines of a gym and properly train them, they'll have a career at their hands, you know? And then you know what happens? Somebody takes a KO,
Sure.
they bump their head, and of course that could even be bigger problems. But I'm thinking, why would you give away a KO? You know what I mean? Like, you know how they talk about you can have your button pushed a couple times and then, you know, you become chinny or whatever. And I'm like, you guys have talent. Go into an MMA gym and use that talent to get better and get paid for this. And I wish we could push that message on to younger kids instead of standing around doing it in front of people holding their phones and then it escalating to even worse.
Yeah, exactly. I try to do it in my community as well. Cause, like I said, when I grew up as a kid, I was involved in gangs and involved in stuff like that. You know what I mean? And my mom took me to the gym and to keep me away from my friends to try to make a better life for myself. You know what I mean? I stuck to it. It's changed my life, changed my family's life, and I've been trying to push it in the UK to say martial arts changed my life. You can also change your life. You know what I mean? Like why join a gang? Why carry knives? You know what I mean? And so I'm trying my hardest to push it and trying to show the kids that I done it, and there's no reason why you can't do it as well. You know what I mean? Why would you go stab somebody like that, kill them, and then you serve them like 30 years in prison when you can go to a martial arts gym, change your life, get some dedication in your life, work hard, and you can achieve greatness and feed your family. So I'm trying my hardest to push this and to help the teenagers in the UK and to show them a different way out.
Well, that's great. There's a lot of UK stars that are definitely making their mark in this sport. You and Darren Till and a few of the other lads, Jimmy Manoa. These young kids, I know that soccer is number one, but man, MMA, combat sports is growing, and you guys are great examples of being able to shed that life and go on and succeed on this platform, as a professional athlete. All right, so let's change the topic a little bit towards the fight game. I absolutely love the welterweight division, and there's just an endless amount of combos that we can make. You, Woodley, Covington, Usman, Masvidal, you all have heat on each other. I watch you guys on Twitter, so there's no love there. There's no the pull-up is there. The problem I want to ask you is, what is your situation? Are you someone that can only arrive on the scene when this fight island gets created, or will the UK laws allow you to travel to the States and be a part of any of these shows that either wind up taking place in Florida or maybe when they come back to Nevada? What's going to be your status?
Well, for now, my work visa for the States, it runs out in June the 1st, I think. So after June the 1st, I doubt I'll be able to get into the US, and so I think it's more just about whether or not I can get a visa to get into the US. But as far as Fight Island goes, I don't think you need a visa for it. So I'll be willing to compete on there. To try to get a team together, a training camp together, and to compete once it's up and running. So I think that's where I stand at the moment. Really, is to see what happens on Fight Island, see what happens May 9th first, and then go from there.
On the media side, we're not getting that much information from the UFC. As far as fighters go, do you guys know much more than us, about Fight Island, location, all that stuff? I know even if you probably won't share, but are they at least telling you a little bit more than that's what's out in the public?
Nah, literally everything that like, you probably know more than me. I even told my manager to try and find out where they're thinking the island's gonna be, and they're like, "Oh, we can't tell you because if we tell you, it's gonna leak out to the media and blah blah blah." So I literally haven't got a clue where they're thinking of having the island or having the fights. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like I said, I'll be prepared. I talked to my team, see what we can do to get a fight together and go from there.
We're here in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, and there's a lot of fighters that live in Las Vegas, and they come in contact, just walking around the PI, they can come in contact with Dana White, Sean Shelby, some of these guys. But with the pandemic, they've been a little bit isolated as well. Their contact with matchmakers, with management, as far as dates, fights. With you being across the sea, how much different has your contact with the UFC been? I mean, is it close to the same level? Has it been less with the pandemic? How often do you speak with them?
Well, my management team, Paradigm, is based in LA, so they're kind of on the same time zone as the USA. So quite a lot. Whenever I want to speak to them, whenever I want to hear anything from them, I get my manager to message them, and they kind of get back to me within a couple of days. So it's good to have my management team based in LA while I'm in the UK. You know what I mean? 'Cause that helps a lot.
When we bring you up on our show, George is right. It's endless possibilities. And they all have us smiling because what it comes down to is you're a great fighter and we want to see you fight. But all the names that George threw out, in your mind, do you feel like it's really just only a matter of time? You're probably going to end up fighting them all at some point before your career is over?
Yeah, for sure. I'm ranked number 4 in the world, and there's a history with all of them. You know what I mean? With Usman, he's the last person to beat me in competition. Masvidal wiped him backstage in London. Colby Covington, I don't like him, so we'll probably end up fighting. Woodley, he's a former world champion. He's trying to dodge the fight, but I'll probably end up fighting him again. You know what I mean? Even though he hasn't said my name since the fight got pushed back. But I can see us fighting in the near future, all of them.
Of those names you brought up, is there one in particular that stands out? Not so much in a bad way, but respectful way. Is there one you respect the most out of that group?
I'll probably say Usman. Like, he's the last person to beat me, right? He doesn't really talk. He's not really like into like all the clout chasing. So I'll probably go Usman. I'd love to compete against him because he's the last person to beat me, and to go out there to beat him, to get the world title off him, and to then I probably look to fight Masvidal because what happened in London. I want to fight all of them. They all can get it, and that's my aim. Is to, when it's all said and done, I can say to myself, I have competed and beat some of the best guys in the world. You know what I mean? And that's my aim in life, is to be a world champion, and fight by fight, I'll keep proving it, and they cannot deny me.
So it sounds like Usman is fighting Masvidal in July. I mean, that was the whole plan at International Fight Week, and International Fight Week's been delayed, but it still sounds like that's the direction. I see Covington and Woodley chirping, and I guess maybe a lot of it has to do with the fact that, again, you're in the UK, they're stateside, it's probably easier to put together. If that foursome does play out, is there a name that you're now targeting if you just can't seem to get the Woodley fight back?
Nah, not really. For me, it has to be someone above me. I've worked too hard to get to this position to be fighting top 10. You know what I mean? I'm the second most wins in the division compared to the champion. So I truly believe I deserve a world title shot already. So the only way I'll fight again is if it's even title shot or the number 1 contender spot. There's no point in me going backwards and finding someone in the top 10 because it just defeats the point of me getting to this position. Only reason I wanted to fight Woodley was because he was a former world champion, and the Usman fight was taken away from me because of Masvidal. So I think anyone above me is the only option for me right now.
Is that fun when you and Woodley go at it on Twitter? Like, does it fire you up at all, or are you just kind of having a blast, showing your phone to your mates? How do you take all that?
Nah, for me, just I'm just having banter. You know what I mean? Like, he takes it serious, but for me, just like I'm just having fun with it. He talks a lot of shit online, and he's like, oh, everyone's clout chasing, blah blah blah. But he's like one of the biggest clout chasers there is. He's calling out everyone, apart from the guy that he's meant to fight a month ago. You know what I mean? That got postponed, and he's calling out the middweight champion. He's calling out lightweights. He's calling out everyone apart from me. And I messaged him yesterday on Twitter. I was like, oh, you sound like that's raining. You sound like a girl trying to get backstage with the popular guys. You know what I mean? But it's just fun for me. I'm having fun with it, and it's banter.
Yeah, I saw that, man. You guys were definitely going back and forth, and Woodley will never back down from smack talk either. Okay, so going back to something you said, your visa's good till June 30th. June 6th seems to be a big date. It was supposed to be a pay-per-view in Perth, Australia. I'm thinking it might still wind up being an actual numbered event, like the pay-per-view series. Is that far enough? I mean, we're looking at what, maybe 5 weeks, and I'm sure you've been doing some training on that Aero Dynasty there. Is that good enough where you could fly and face Woodley, for example, or Covington, and be a part of anything that's not Fight Island, for example, and maybe it's in Florida or like I said, just somewhere stateside?
June 16th.
No, June 6th.
I think I'm past my visa. June 6th.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's a possibility. I'll talk to my team and see what we could do to get a training camp together. But I believe so. I only need 5 to 6 weeks to be in fight shape. You know what I mean? So I talked to my team, and because I literally haven't done no martial arts since quarantine. I've been like, I was taking over on my bike and doing a bit of weights and keeping my weight down. But as far as that martial arts go, all the gyms are closed, and everyone is like basically isolating with the family. So I haven't done no martial arts really since the cancellation of my fight. But I think give me 5 to 6 weeks, I'll be ready. So I'll talk to my team and see what we can do.
All right, I just want to end with this. You're 28 years of age, excuse me, and I was looking up your stats, man. It's pretty amazing. So your record's 18-3 overall, 10-2 in the UFC, and your first 10 fights, you went 8-2. We've been doing this for a long time, and when they finally make it to the UFC, they're either for real or they become
trade out.
Yeah. You've actually gotten better. You're 9-1 in your next 10 fights, and you're already 1-0 in the next set of 10 that you're going to do. So you're really, I guess, on a 10-1 run, or however you want to look at it. What did you do in your next 10 fights when the competition got tougher? I mean, RDA, Luque, Nelson, Barbarina. I mean, there's some really cowboys, some really tough. The names got tougher, but yet you did better. What did you do different from your first 10 fights to the next 10 fights that maybe other fighters should think about? Tuning it up or turning it up and rising to the occasion and being able to put yourself in this position you're in.
I don't know. I think for me is I grew up in the UK. Everyone tells you that you need to move to America to achieve the level I'm at that moment. You know what I mean? And I kind of like started believing it as I got more into my martial arts and more into fights. And I think that's one of the things. And now I'm back home in the UK. Now I'm back with my team and believing in my team, and it's all just worked out perfectly, really. I've now believed that this is what I need to achieve what I want to achieve, and so I probably put it down to believing in my team and trusting in my team, and not thinking I need to go to America or Brazil or wherever I need to go to improve my skill set. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably one of the biggest things I can say that's helped me to get this 8-fight win streak I'm on at the moment. You know what I mean? And so. Just believe in your team, work hard, dedicate yourself, and there's no reason why you cannot achieve what you want to achieve.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I did have one more question here regarding your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What level is it at now? The last thing I saw was purple. Do you work on it all the time? Is it something where you want to excel and get your black belt, or even have such a formidable game that you would be a threat to submit others? How do you regard that part?
My jiu-jitsu is pretty good. Literally, I'm probably like a black belt in gi, really, but I hate wearing gi. Like, as far as like no gi goes, I've been doing no gi now for like 10, 11 years. No gi jiu-jitsu, but my coach only like give you about if you do his classes, his gi classes, right? So but I've never got the hang of doing gi, and I never really liked it. But I enjoy competing in no gi and doing no gi. But as far as like getting my belts and in my gi, It's something I want to do in the future. But for now, I'm enjoying. I'm a purple belt at the moment, and I'm enjoying just like learning and growing and getting better in no-gi.
Leon, I want to thank you for the time, man. It's great doing this catch up with you, and
Good man.
hopefully this message that you're sending out to the youth of Birmingham spreads. Maybe other athletes as well can do the same thing, because that's definitely pretty sad, man, to see what's happening. I've read about this in Liverpool. I've read about this in Manchester, now in your area, which I think is called the Midlands, the Birmingham area. So first of all, kudos to you for highlighting that. And also kudos to you for, I guess, not pressing the panic button and not making just these decisions to participate in a fight that maybe you're not ready for. Because you're right, man. It's been one heck of a buildup and a resume that you've built, that you're in this position for us to include you in these names. I know one thing's for sure. Once we get back to normalcy, you got some big fights ahead of you. I can't wait to see them all. Who, regardless who it is, you line up and square up against.
Yeah, exactly. I got storylines, everyone above me, you know what I mean? So they're all big fights, and once the world get back to normal and the ball's up and running again, I'll be a world champion, and I truly believe that, and I truly know that, and I cannot wait to get back in there.
Thanks for the time. We appreciate you, man. Stay safe out there.
Good man, brother. Thank you. Look after your family. Stay safe.